Hey, Kyle here. The lighting is horrible. Welcome to the garage and the back of the hiker trailer. In today's video, we're going to talk about these Anderson power poles. These are great. You should be using Anderson power poles on all of your connections versus some of the cigarette lighter adapters or anything that is DC. I suggest you use Anderson power poles. They are a very good connector. They don't come apart. They have a locking mechanism with one of these pins that you can lock two Anderson power pole connectors together so they do not come apart once you line them up. And they are great. I know that Hiker uses these on a lot of their connections here in the back galley. I've got every single connection that is DC related has one of these Anderson power pole connectors. Now, these are sometimes hard to get. You can get them on Amazon. There are fake power pole connectors out there. I'm going to give a link to my friend's video, Mike, and he will show you how to identify fake Anderson power poles, which I suggest that you stay away from. I will also give a link to a bunch of parts on DigiKey that you can buy Anderson power poles from. You can check out as a guest, so you don't have to register. And I think that they have $6 shipping in the United States, and you can get all types of different colors. Here I have yellow that I have used for my solar setup, and I'll get more into that in another video, but you can color code these Anderson power poles to what you want based on what need it serves. There are a ton of termination videos out on the internet. I am not going to make one, but if you are looking for a crimper, I will put a description below, and you can crimp until your heart's content with making Anderson power poles. And then also there's a ton of videos out there that you can take a look at to learn how to make Anderson power poles. But this video is about this little guy right here. This is a Wago connector, straight through connector to an Anderson power pole. So you would probably ask, why do you care? Well, whenever you're out on the trail or camping, the only thing you have is probably some wire strippers in your emergency go kit. You're probably not going to bring your Anderson power pole crimper. Maybe you will, and you can repair one of these Anderson power poles. But I have a couple of these where it's got Wago on one side, which you can basically take some bare wire and snap that into the Wago connector, and then you've got Anderson power pole on the other side. It's a straight through connector. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to make one of these, and you can put this in your kit here in the hiker or your RV, and you will have an Anderson power pole anywhere that you've got some wire strippers and some bare wire that you can push into this Wago connector. So that is this week's video. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you out on the trail. I'm going to try to attempt to make some of these things that you've seen on the internet that have a power pole on one end and a Wago connector on the other end. So these are just quick disconnect that you can use to mate electrical connections together. They've got these snap-on fittings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a connector, obviously, that mates in with the standard power pole stuff, and then it's going to come into this Wago, and then we're going to heat shrink it to make it all nice and neat. And I'm going to put that in my go box. So here we go. So the things that I've got out are my power pole crimpers, wire strippers, some wire, obviously power poles, some of these straight through Wago connectors, And then I've got some heat shrink here. I've got my soldering station and then my blowtorch here that I'm gonna shrink some shrink wrap with. All right, the first thing I think I need to do is I need to put these connectors on for the power pole. So let's do that first. So I'm going to spread that apart and then strip these. I think this might be 12 gauge wire, might be 10. I'm going to do 10 first. Yep, I think it's 10. Let's see if it's actually going to fit in here. It might not even fit. It's going to be close. This wire might be too thick for these connectors. It's going to be tough to get all the strands in there. Really got to make sure that that center, it's round in there. I don't think it's going to be big enough. And I got one strand. See that strand that's sticking out? You know what? That's good enough for me. I'm going to chop that thing off. Let me get some pliers here. Or please hold. Here, you might need some of these for your... All right, that is that connector. So let me crimp that guy. So the way that I always remember is I put red on right, and then I also put the connector in a down state like that, because that is the way that it's going to go into the power pole. So let me get this crimped. It's on the 30 here. And that's crimped. We're also going to solder that. Just a little bit of solder. So I pulled that apart a little bit more. And then let me do the second side. So let me make sure that I get that kind of on the same level here. And I don't push this very far in because I don't want it to break any of those strands. So now, if I take a look at this, this is about the same, which is good. That's what I want. And now we do the game of connecting this in. Oh my gosh. See, I should have used a smaller gauge. Oh, look at that. First try. All right, let's crimp this. Where'd my crimpers go? I'm going to put this in the 30 here. So these are on the same orientation plane. So let me crimp this. That looks good. About the same distance, which is what I want. So let me set this up and see if I can do this on camera so you guys can see the soldering process. Might be tough. Might be tough. See if I can jam this in there. Let's see. Wrong orientation. It's harder said than done. I don't think this is going to work. There we go. All right. No, I don't think this is going to work. I usually solder them off on my vice grips here, but I don't have a set of vice grips that I can put in camera. So what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? So let's get this over here. If you don't have one of these things are awesome. Some helping hands. But the problem is that you need some pressure to be able to put on just going to put a little bit of solder. Takes it a minute to heat up. There we go. It's enough. Do the second one here. There we go. Done. All right, the next thing I want to do is let that cool off, and then we will insert it into the power pole. I always put my power poles together, and there's an A that you can see that is right side up. Red on right, and the A needs to be visible or be able to be read. So the A's are on top and then right on red. So that's how I remember them. And then whenever I insert them like this, but it's still hot. So, and then the key is to get these in the same orientation and then just make enough on the outside here. Cut this close enough that I have enough to place in the Wago connector, but also have enough to insert. So let's insert. And sometimes these are tough to, I got to get a tool. See if this will help. You always have to like push down to get them to insert. That one started. There we go. Right side is done. That one clicked in. And then it gets to a point where you always have one.
And it always has to line up perfectly. If it's not perfect, there we go. There it clicked in. All right, so that is good. I don't know if you can see that, but that is good. So now the second thing I need to do is I need to make a cut to figure out if that goes all the way through. I think that I'm going to cut it maybe right here. Spread these apart. Trim these back a bit. And I'm not going to solder these ends because I think that one of the things that you want to do is kind of smash, let the Wago connector smash the cable in there, or the connectors. So let's, too long. I think that's too long. So I could probably cut these back another, oh geez, probably, let's see. Yeah, I could probably cut these back probably to here maybe. And then okay. Gonna do the second one here. Well, that's better. Not perfect, but better. So let me snap that down. So let me take this other one for the negative. Snap that down. So there it is. All right, now all I have to do is do some shrink wrap, which got to be careful to make sure that the shrink wrap doesn't interfere with pulling this snap up. So we're going to cut that shrink wrap. Just gonna make a mark here. Gonna assume that that is straight. Yeah, that's not straight. Where's my scissors? I think my scissors are upstairs, but this will do. There we go. It's the world's largest scissors. And we're gonna heat shrink this thing up. Hopefully it will be, put it right about there. Ow, that's hot. Ow! Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Let's make sure that we can... Ow! These snaps come up. Ow. Why is this still hot? Yep. So, that is your poor man's Wago to power pole connector. Let's just test to make sure that the beepies come through. So, that. Yep. Yep. The beepies are good. So, hope you learned something. It's easy to do. Like and subscribe. Share this with your other ham radio buddies. And
We'll see you later. Bye.